New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Ministers Talking a weekly program where Rev BRZ and Rev Z and their guests chat about current affairs, world events, spiritual principles, and any old they want to talk about. Based on the New Thought philosophy and ancient wisdoms, Ministers Talking shares a visionary perspective of the evolving spiral called spiritual living. Join us each week as we explore the emerging paradigm of life on planet Earth and beyond.
And good morning, dear ones. Rev BRZ with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And we're a couple of ministers talking shit. We do this every Friday morning here on the New Thought Media Network, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Get together and, well, as the promo says, anything we want. So first up today, however, we want to wish everybody a very happy Earth Day.
Yay!
Whee! Z, you did a little research. You did a little research on the history of Earth Day. Let's remind everybody what it is all about.
Yes. So Earth Day was spawned, if you will, by a big oil spill off the coast of Santa Barbara in '69, and it became an official holiday on or a day of celebration, a day of activation. I mean, it's really what it really is. The next year in 1970, and it's basically around saving and honoring the planet. So today you'll see a whole lot of activity of planting trees and plants and picking up plastics and all manner of things that support the planet. Our spaceship, if we want to call it such, as we hurtle through space, we want to take care of this spaceship Earth because it's the only spaceship we have right now.
Mm-hmm. And if you're wondering where to find out more, earthday.org. Pretty easy. Earthday.org. You can learn a whole bunch more. Z, it's our only spaceship, and we've got to pay attention.
Yeah. And if there's been a lot of little programs on air by different networks and different programs, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more this weekend too, just honoring it. But when we think about the integratedness, as well as the left and right, if you will, the strength of the planet, but also the delicateness of the planet, it's not something that we should be rolling the dice with. We should really be trying to learn as much as we can, about the oceans, and because they're starting to heat up and species are starting to leave the planet, and the water's rising. I mean, it's all kinds of things. It's so subtle in some cases, but it's so dramatic, and we really need to pay attention.
Yes. To me, it all comes into awareness, paying attention, being aware. I saw a story in our yesterday afternoon that there was a wildfire recently here in Colorado. It didn't cause a huge amount of destruction. It didn't burn any properties other than land. But now they're saying it was started just a few feet off a trail. And they know it's human created, but they can't tell if it was accidental or intentional. A few feet off a trail sounds like somebody flicked their cigarette butt.
Right.
To me. Right. That sounds pretty direct. And it's that kind of inattentiveness, unawareness that has longer lasting impact and effect on all of us. So Earth Day, be aware, be conscious, do something good for planet Earth.
Yeah.
Seems like a
Kind
pretty
of simple.
simple recipe. Yeah, exactly. All right. Our next story today hits home. Both Rev Z and I live here in Colorado. And while we don't talk an awful lot about politics here, you may have heard that the Disney Corporation is under attack in Florida. The governor wants to do some stuff, and they have actually. The state has revoked Disney's special use city charter that allows Disney to self-govern itself and on the property that it owns and such. And Governor Polis here in Colorado yesterday sent out a tweet basically telling Disney and Twitter that here in Colorado, we don't meddle in companies' businesses. And if you want to move to Colorado, we're ready to accept you. Now, it's interesting. Twitter already does have some office space up in Boulder. Disney doesn't have any real presence here in Colorado I know of. But I've been talking for a long time, Z. Colorado is like the missing link in the world of amusement parks. Is it time for Disney Mountain here in Disney Rocky Mountain here in the Colorado?
Well, they have Space Mountain, so we might be able to convince them to turn that into a real mountain. I'm originally from Florida, as some of you know, and Disney first opened in Florida in 1971, and 50 years later, I think they might have it all built out. And so I think it's just so short-sighted of DeSantos to try to mess with that model. I think they employ something like 60, 70,000 employees. It's like a little city itself, which is why they gave it a city status. Right. And I apologize for my internet there. It's a little jerky there, but believe me, we'll take them in Colorado.
Exactly. I think we'd be happy to have something here in the amusement park realm. We've got a small regional park here in Denver, but I think it's a prime idea for Colorado as a whole. So if Disney, if you're not listening, maybe somebody at Six Flags is listening. Let's get some more entertainment here. All right. Our big story today, folks, to mask or not to mask. So if you paid any attention to the news this week, you know that a federal judge lifted the mask mandate for airlines and buses, trains, other forms of mass transportation, caused quite a hullabaloo in the air as some airline captains took it upon themselves to enforce that ruling immediately. Others are saying, no, wait, let's be a little slower. United Airlines has actually started offering refunds to anybody that doesn't want to fly now because of the lifting of this mask mandate. Just last week, we reported that Philadelphia had reinstalled a mask mandate and was pretty much immediately brought into court on that. They have since rescinded that mandate. LA County is looking at reinstalling a mandate, according to an article I read yesterday. Z, where are we at here? I know everybody's tired. I know everybody would rather never have to put on another mask in their life in public. Where do you see us at this point?
And again, I'm trying to see if I can boost my signal here, but I think that it's going to be, it's going to cause more confusion because you're going to have people who wear them and people who don't, obviously, because now you have that option. But I can see the moment someone gets on and they don't wear one, and they have a cold or they have the allergies for grass and pollen and they're sneezing and coughing all over the place, it's going to create some more situations where people get banned. Because they've dropped the mask now, all of the airlines are looking at some of the people that they had banned from catching flights because of some of the stuff that happened during when masks were mandated. Now they're looking at them and saying, all right, well, some of you guys will let you back. And then just yesterday, some of you may have heard there's this whole story about Mike Tyson on the plane. And I don't know if it was related to a mask or not. And supposedly somebody was poking that big bear and he was supposedly knocked him out or whatever. But I don't think it really happened. But that could happen if you're on there and you don't have a mask.
Yeah. I don't know anybody. Sorry, if you want to stand up to Mike Tyson and tell him what to do, I think you're just asking to get laid out. I think you're just asking for so who knows, right? It could be it could be somebody just wanting to try to get famous.
Having Mike Tyson knock you out on a plane is not the way to get famous.
Right. Exactly. So here's my thing. This again comes back to simply being personally responsible and being part of a larger vision and being part of a community. And I don't like paying for insurance on my car, but I do it.
Yes.
I would rather not have to wear shoes I'd rather walk around barefoot and not have shoes on and have to wear shoes to go into a convenience store or a supermarket, but I do it. We've seen, as a human race, we've watched this happen in Asia for a while now. Masking when you're sick or when you may be sick has been a part of culture there for a while now. And I think that's where we're headed. I think we have to get back to being okay with everybody's personal choice. And if you're sick, if you're not feeling well, wear a mask. It doesn't see. I picked someone up at the airport yesterday. A friend had needed a ride. I picked someone up at the airport, and they were waiting at the curb wearing a mask. And I asked about it, not as an accusation, just, and what my friend said was, I don't ever know if I'm infected. I still don't know. This thing is still living in the world, and I still don't always know if I could be giving it to somebody.
Right.
So it's an inconvenience to wear a mask for a little while, but I'm going to do it because if by chance I am sick, I don't want to get anybody else sick.
Well,
and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and that point that you make is a key one because it is a silent, very elusive virus, right? Now, because what they're saying happens, the longer it's here and the longer it mutates, it becomes somewhat less deadly, but more easily to catch and spread. And so those people who may have immune compromise or whatever, it creates a problem.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know if the guy next to me in an airplane or on a bus or on a train is immunocompromised, that I could give them something. And now we see this with the flu too. It's just, to me, I think, especially in North America, we've taken such a cavalierish attitude towards the flu that, oh, I don't get it, or, I only get sick for a day. The flu still kills people.
Yeah.
Not at the rate it did when it was new, but it still kills people. And we still create, and we're still battling it every year. Now, we do have friends and colleagues that have not been vaccinated, that are not wearing masks, and are healthy people. Yes. And I still feel like this is just the right thing to do for those that might be at a higher risk until we have a better immunity to this overall.
Yes. And that's going to be the answer, right? And I mean, just the way these things work, and you can, we look at Earth Day, right? These viruses and things are part of the total makeup of the Earth. Now, of course, some people are going to say, well, this was made somewhere, but viruses in general are part of the Earth's makeup, and until we can be around them longer and build the immunity, as you said, it's going to take time. And if we can, prevent that and protect the elderly and protect the young people and protect those who may have had some health issues, that's going to help everybody. And I guess I'm still baffled as to why it's such a big deal to wear a mask, especially in places like public transportation. Now, if you want to, people go to a restaurant and don't want to wear a mask, that's a choice. I mean, some people might say, well, we're just as close in a restaurant as we are on a plane or a bus, but still.
Right. And yes, there is a sense, I guess, it feels like parts of humanity, that's what I say everybody, but parts of it just don't have the patience anymore to say, we want it now, we want it now, we want it now, we want it over, we want it done, we want it over. And folks, let's just be real, this ain't over.
No.
And it ain't gonna be over until it's over, but we're not there yet. And the more we try to act like it is over, the more we try to pretend that this is not something that's real on the planet at this time, then the longer we perpetuate the concern, the longer we perpetuate the experience. And
the other thing is, we have to quit playing political ping pong with people's lives by playing around with healthcare and disease control.
Right. Exactly. So, all right, there it is, folks. We're fully on that side. Let's stay, in the right situations. I'm not wearing a mask everywhere I go, every minute of the day, every interaction. I'll be straight up. I'm fully vaccinated. I've been boosted. I want to see us heal. I'm very picky about who I don't wear a mask around, and or the environment. Again, we went to dinner last night with some friends, and we were sitting outside. I felt comfortable with the people there to sit outside without a mask. But if we had been in an enclosed space, even a restaurant, I think I might have been wearing a mask in between the bites, during the conversation, while we're waiting for the meal to be prepared, all those different things. It comes back to personal choice, but personal choice inherently requires personal responsibility as well. I do not get personal choice if I don't have personal responsibility as a value within my life as well.
Yeah, and we know that there's choice and consequences. People will choose one way or the other, and there will be consequences for your choices. And so, for me, it just makes sense to err on the side of caution, if you will, that if the only thing I have to do to protect myself and my loved ones and my neighbors is to wear a mask at the appropriate time, if I'm in a crowded mass transportation, or if I'm in a crowded place where I can't get, 4 feet away, whatever, 6 feet may not be the magic number now. It may be 4 feet, maybe 3 feet, right? But I have to take responsibility for that.
Yes. I think the mandates, right? What strikes me is we had to mandate all this stuff, right? There had to be a mandate on planes and in air and such, because people won't take that personal responsibility. won't allow themselves to be inconvenienced for a short time for the better of all. And so people, governments, communities, municipalities, not knowing what they were dealing with, had to mandate this. And we may have to mandate it again in the future. I don't think it's as simple as don't tell me what to do. Again, that doesn't work if what you're doing is harmful or risky for everyone you encounter.
Yeah, and it's really like, being in kindergarten. I mean, people, I'm not going to put my mask on and you can't make me and you're taking my freedom. And, it's like elementary school, kindergarten kind of stuff. No one's we're trying to protect the greater society. The person who's not wearing it included. It doesn't make sense that we are at a stage where we know we have the science, we have the information, we have the understanding. We should have the compassion to take care of our neighbors, but.
Right. So, yeah, we have freedom, but how free are you if this virus takes you out? So you can claim, you can't be, okay. And, I don't want to sound flippant about this. A lot of people on this planet lost their lives in the last 2 years because of this virus, because of the politicization of masks, because of the politicalization of vaccines, because of all the various things that we're doing to say, I can't, no, I won't play nice.
Yeah. And you would hope that as all these things converge, right? We have Earth Day today. We talked about that. That is a convergence of climate change and all kind of animal extinctions. We look at the pandemic. We look at the war over in Ukraine. I mean, we look at all these things that begin to converge that begins to erode at our way of life and the planet that we live on. Hopefully everybody wakes up to that.
Thanks. I got a little bit of background noise going on in a moment, folks. I was trying to mute my mic. All right. So I was looking up this Mike Tyson story. He was on JetBlue. Now, I also saw a story this week of an ex-Fox News host being a complete Karen and berating a JetBlue employee because a plane was late. Now, why do you harass a gate agent for a plane being late? You know the agent has no control over the plane. But here's my bigger question. Why are celebrities flying JetBlue? Aren't they the bargain of the bargain basement airline? Like, what is Mike Tyson doing flying JetBlue? What are these guys doing flying JetBlue?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting question. We could say that they're being conscientious, maybe, or we could say they're trying to go. Well, that wouldn't work. I could say that they're trying to go in, undercover, if you will, or less noticeable. But probably the people on those going to know them more.
Yeah, I will say this: if this is Mike Tyson in that video, this ain't no Will Smith slap. That's for sure. He's putting it at this guy. He's giving it to this man. And we make light of some of these things, folks, but really, again, what we're preaching here is we're one human family. We all live on this rock together.
Yeah.
You can try getting off, but it ain't gonna leave you anywhere. And I'll be honest, I've been guilty of it as well over the last 2 years. We're all under a lot of stress. We'd all like to see things change again, get away from however, the aggression that we're willing to go to immediately is one of those places we need to change. There's an old saying in the world that peace is not the absence of war or chaos or confusion or even anger. It's the ability to be still and recognize the truth in the midst of all of that. Yeah. So these principles, the practices we use, are here to support us when we're in those places of what the F is going on here. To be able to take a breath and take a holy breath and say, okay, to step away from this decision and ask ourselves, what's the high vision that's trying to emerge here? Yes. To be able to ground ourselves daily in spiritual practices so that we don't get triggered and don't just go off on other people. And for now, if there's something major, if somebody's attacking you, but if somebody's just telling you to put a mask on, or somebody's just in a disagreement, I don't think that's enough to keep going to physical violence any longer.
Yeah. And I heard, that similar kind of thing with the Will Smith thing, and I don't want to keep going back to that, but it was like, as the and it's a little tongue in cheek, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt you. Now we know that there's a little bit of fallacy there, but because you say something bad to me, you call me a name, I could just walk away.
Yeah. Our friend Wayne, I think, has the great affirmation of the day. I will not lose my shit. And Lord, if I do, help me to get it back again.
Yes.
Thank you. We needed a good chuckle there this morning. Thank you so very much. That was perfect.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, Z, I think we have effectively rambled on and been with these folks quite a bit here this morning. I do want to share a couple things that are coming up. Number one, folks, today is a great day in the world of New Thought. Our friends over at the affiliated New Thought Network are sharing an all-day virtual retreat. Happens all day today, starts at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, so we're about an hour and a half away. You can head over to antn.org to register, and it's a completely 100% free. All day long. All you got to do is go over and register. You will see some live broadcasting on New Thought Media Network today during the day on a few different sessions that we're going to broadcast live to help these folks get the word out about what they're doing. But I'm telling you, I'm looking at the lineup and it's amazing. The speakers, the workshops, breakout sessions, all kinds of fun stuff. And they end it later this evening at 6 o'clock Mountain with a concert. Michael Gott, Marcy Baruch, Nemo Patel, and Daniel Neyma together, and the four of them are gonna have a great concert for us starting this evening. You'll be able to catch that here on the New Thought Media Network as well. So please keep an eye out for that. All right, Z, before we get out of here today, any final thoughts?
Honor the planet.
Yes, honor the planet. Do good on planet Earth today. Thanks for being with us, folks. We're going to say thank you to our sponsors before we get out of here. We look forward to seeing you again next time here on the New Thought Media Network. Until then, peace and richest blessings.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please Please help us welcome Ohm Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you Center for Spiritual Living Seattle for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.